Welcome to our pop culture part of the podcast, or our pop culture video, depending on how you're watching it. So I'm going to start off with our, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania's very own groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil. Saw a shadow, or didn't see a shadow, whatever, 6 more weeks of winter. But
wait, so did he or did he not see a shadow?
I don't know which one it is.
That's a huge factor of this.
Well, it's 6 more weeks of winter. I know that.
Okay.
That's all. I forget which one it is that he needs to see or doesn't see. He's mainly been wrong, but he came up in the Epstein emails 4 times at least. What's he doing in the Epstein emails? Where's he going?
The
He's going to
groundhog?
Yes, the groundhog.
How did he come up in Epstein emails?
That doesn't matter. He's in them. Get him out. Get him out of this state. I don't want him anymore.
Is this a bit or was he actually...
he actually is in the Epstein emails. It's not an email, but he's not emailing them, but he's in the Epstein emails. They're talking about Punxsutawney Phil in the emails.
That's crazy.
No less than 4 times.
What?
Yeah.
Of what? Like, okay.
Maybe he's on the island. I don't know.
I don't understand. Okay. I don't know what questions I have.
Redacted. Yeah, it's just,
do you have more answers to this, or is that just all you
Nope, I just want him out of the state because he keeps saying more winter, and it's getting me upset.
Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we should have him in the state at all if he's in the emails.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just, go have fun on a little island, you little weirdo.
All right. Outside of that, what we'll be covering is Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 3, I believe. Yeah, Episode 3. And then the Oscar movie that we have watched. We both watched the same one this time, so the breakdown's going to be a little bit different. We watched The Smash Machine, which is The Rock's movie, which if you guys have watched the show before, you know how we feel about The Rock. And yeah, so we'll start off with Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Rye, you want to take the lead here?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of go mainly through start to finish, but we finally get the reveal at the end of the episode that Egg is Aegon Targaryen, brother to Aerion, who ends up fighting Duncan at the end. So I know we had at least talked about out of this that it is.
It definitely came to a big surprise. From what I've seen, other people's reactions, they're like, what an ending. I never would have seen this coming. I'm like...
That's the thing. It's like you had to miss a ton of context clues if you didn't pick up on it before that.
Yeah, like the fact that they allude to 2 missing children. He was at the same inn as one that we knew was one of the missing children.
Yeah, and you meet him with that drunk.
Yeah. Not only that, every time he sees a Targaryen, he gets all bugged out. Yeah. So and there was definitely a lot of clues pointing at it.
So did you pick up on also the part where they mentioned, the oldest brothers are drunk, the second child is Aerion, the third one they said is worthless, and they're going to send him off to the Citadel to become a maester.
I know who that is.
Yep. Okay. And then the fourth one, and then it kind of gets cut off.
Yeah. It was the Apple Squire who was talking about him, right?
Yeah. The I forget what his name is.
No, me too.
But one thing I did like in this episode, we got a lot more relationship between Dunk and Egg, where Duncan is kind of almost seen as it was kind of a mix between older brother and father role. It seemed like he was kind of taking on Dunk when they got first, or Egg was like, can I help? And he's like, no, just do this. He's like, this is how you brush the horse.
Yeah.
This is how you
he's like warming up to him a little bit more. We got Egg practicing being a squire at the beginning of the episode, right?
Yeah, trying to get the horse to run. And then the one thing that kind of pissed me off is when the one guy comes up and being like, hey, did you steal those? Egg could have just, he's like, it's not stealing if I give it back. You could have just been like, I'm a squire. This is my knight's horse. I'm prepping him for the tourney.
Yeah.
That I don't understand why he couldn't have just been.
The way he worded it was like, oh, yeah, it's not stealing if I plan to give it back. I'm like, no, it kind of is still stealing. You're just returning what you stole. That's not what's going on here. Like you took the horse of your sir without permission, but you still are using it to train for the tourney.
Yeah, you could at least use the excuse.
This a million times better.
And then I don't know how he got away with that, other than the fact that the guy was like, oh, what happened to your hair? He's like, what happened to your eye? And then we get a flashback of this dude losing an eye mid-tourney.
Yeah.
And just still going on, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, he's badass.
Aerion, Targaryen, they do the, first Dunk is getting all nervous about the tournament, throwing up everywhere, and he's like, all right, let's go get my armor. And Egg's like, you're not going today. Today's just for highborns and nobles.
Yeah.
They get to call out who they want to call out, and it seems like they only get to call out other highborns from what we see.
And like Dunk's response was like, how come I've been throwing up all morning? He's like,
I don't know.
Mystery to me. But yeah, that is good. So we got another, kind of thought this episode would be the tourney, so we do have another episode of...
Well, it still is a tourney. It's just not... the tourney's going to be multiple days. It's not a one-day thing.
Yes, right. The tourney is still going on. We're not seeing the tourney.
Yeah. Well, no, we did see it. It's just not his part of it.
No one that we saw mattered really. Fought in the tourney. The tourney scene was them cheering on the tournament. That wasn't what we were hoping.
We saw the horse die.
Yeah, the horse died from Aerion, right?
Yeah.
All right. But again, what I'm still trying to reiterate is the tourney that we're looking forward to is the main character fighting in the tourney.
Yeah, Duncan is not fought in it.
Yes. So we got another episode of not getting Duncan the tourney. What I said.
But the game master eventually brings Dunk aside at one point and kind of gives him a little, an idea or a proposition, and says, if I forget the Lord Ashford's youngest son, if you, I think he was the one. No, which one did he fight? I think he was one of the ones that fought in that first night. He said, if we'll make you the winner. Like the Ashford house is kind of running a little poor right now because the princess's party or something like that. They're running a little poor. So we're basically, it sounds like they're going to place a bunch of bets on Dunk because he's going to be a long.
He's upset.
Yeah, he's going to be a long-eyed, underdog. So we'll let you win. You'll get to keep, the horse armor and all that stuff that, the loser's going to give you if you just go ahead with this. And one of my thoughts is like, you could have just
told him that.
Yeah, exactly.
You think he's not planning on winning? That me and Holly were watching. It's like, why the hell are they telling him that they're going to fix the other person? Like, the only thing, this is only going to harm you because if you don't tell him, he wins and he feels honorable about it.
And
you're
he's
telling
not,
him, there's a chance that he's like going to protest it and make a whole scene.
And like now you have like a witness almost that you're cheating.
Yeah, this was,
like you could just have the one guy fall.
It made no sense to me whatsoever telling him that you're fixing the other person when all you need him to do is win.
Because but he's like, all right, I don't want to do it or whatever. He's like, all right, let me know for sure on the morrow. And then at one point, like he's walking by and the game master's like, look at him, like, you answer yet? And then Dunk just kind of averts his eyes.
Yeah.
That's when we get the fortune teller that comes up and asks to tell the fortune for obviously a little bit of money. And Dunk's fortune was, you shall know great success and be richer than a Lannister.
Mm-hmm.
And then eggs is where it gets a little interesting.
A little dark.
You shall be king and die in a hot fire, and worms shall feed upon your ashes, and all who know you shall rejoice in your dying. And Dunk, at this point, doesn't know who Egg is, and just kind of laughs up and like, haha, that's funny. Meanwhile, Egg's like, oh no, what's going on?
She said, why would she say something like that?
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's a fucking stupid fortune teller.
Yeah.
Clearly, neither of these are true. Because obviously, not knowing he's a Targaryen, the idea of him being a king makes no sense whatsoever.
But he's like, wait, I actually like,
This prophet,
even though I might be like seventh in line for the throne, there's still like,
this isn't that far fetched.
Yeah.
Right.
After the fortunes, so he meets up with the squire he met, and that's when they go over that whole, because like when Aerion goes to fight in the the tournament, he first starts out on his cousin. His cousin gets up like, oh really, you're gonna challenge me? And then he just goes, I'll leave you for another day.
Yeah.
I'll embarrass you another day. It's like, all right, asshole.
Yeah. I think the cousin's better than him too.
If I
had to guess. So I think he's just trying to be cool, but
cousin doesn't have blonde hair though. Is he a Jace situation?
I
know his dad also doesn't have blonde hair.
Yeah, the dad doesn't have blonde hair. The dad is the dad's parents. I forget.
So he's the hand of the king, and he's first in line for the throne.
Yes. The dad, whatever the name of the king is currently, married a Martell, and that is what combined ended their war, and he is the heir to the king, but it's not like loved amongst the people, or at least the Targaryen family, because he doesn't have that blonde hair. He's no bastard. He is the son of the Martell, but he doesn't have the bright blonde features that the brother Maekar has.
Well, we know Daemon is the bastard that apparently, because remember Egg is singing the one song. He's like, they talk about Baelor's the first, Maker's the second, and Daemon's the bastard that they kind of kicked to the curb.
Mm-hmm. Who he ends up picking?
Yeah, he ends up picking. Who is it? It's like I think he has a son on his thing. I can't remember who it is though.
But he basically didn't seem like a big house because he wasn't even outside waiting.
He's like, get out here, boy, and come die. And then the first passer he just kind of dips and dodges it, and everyone's like, boo, gets all upset. Cause it does kind of look like he's not really playing. It's very sportsmanlike.
Yeah. And
then the next one, very obviously, goes right for the horse's neck.
Dunk even calls it before. He's like, his joust is too low, or his thing is too low.
Which for someone that doesn't I don't think he's ever really held a joust.
No. Who, Dunk?
Yeah,
I think he just it was visual. That definitely was not aiming at the person.
Yeah. Right through the horse's neck.
But this goes to Egg said something to Dunk about, I think he did it on purpose, and Dunk was like, "Oh, there's no way he would do something like that."
He's a knight. He's royalty. Why would he's honorable?
And then gets back to where we were. Dunk brought that up to
The Squire,
the
yeah.
Squire, and the Squire was like, "Oh, I 100% believe that he did that." And then he goes,
Goes off.
What was the one line was great? Like the most honorable thing a Targaryen can do is pull out and come on their tits.
The only honorable thing a Targaryen can do for this realm is finish on his wife's tits.
Yeah, that is great. That was really funny.
And then of course he's sorry, I got away. I got a little carried away there.
Yeah.
And the tits thing was just was Stefan's. It was
Yeah.
just Stefan said that. It's like, yeah, you definitely believe that.
I think that again the Targaryens, they
Well, with that, and then combined with the play that we see at the end, where they
Right.
kill a dragon, I think the sentiment in the realm right now is the Targaryens are not too beloved because
No.
at this point in time, no dragons are actually alive.
yeah.
So
I
I
don't think
think
that-
it's kind of like they don't have their power, and it's like, you know, everyone just kind of now sees them as tyrants that came over here from, you know, a foreign land and then started, you know, like conquering them and telling them what to do.
I don't know if they're gonna bring this up, but this is also like not the civil war that the House of Dragons are talking about, but there's been multiple civil wars amongst the Targaryens. I want to say not this father, not the king that's on right now, the one before it. Before he died, legitimized all of his bastard kids,
Oh, the Blackfires.
the
and stuff like
Blackfires,
that.
and it
Yeah.
started this big civil war. And I think the Targaryen family is still beat up from this. So like, I don't think the realm sees the Targaryens as even being that strong of a house
Yeah.
right now anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, even that's in Egg's song as well. Something about the Blackfires. I
Yeah.
forget what it is
I
exactly.
think the Baelor, the one without the blonde hair,
Mm-hmm.
his name is like the Hammer, and Maekar
Yep.
is the Anvil.
I forget what Maekar is.
I
But
think
that,
it's
that
the
makes sense.
Hammer and the Anvil because they played a huge part, and that's the
That'd be kind of a cool
Blackfire.
name for Brotherhood. You know,
Hammer and Anvil.
Yeah.
It is a dope combo, but. And, like Maekar made built the wall, like not built the wall, like made a wall of shield, and like Baelor came around and like pushed everybody into Maekar, and like that's how they won. That's how they won the Blackfire War, the most recent one. But what I was getting at is, I think the Targaryens are pretty depleted right now. Like you said, there is no dragons right now, so I don't think they're looked at as that strong of a household. So that play, stabbing the dragon. Aemon, what the fuck's
Aerion.
Aerion, I was right the first time.
Aerion, I think.
Aer, that sounds right. Sees that, and I saw somebody said, like, I'm kind of on Aerion's side here. Like, you can't be doing a play like this. Like, there's no dragon, so it's clearly a subtle jab at the dragon family.
Yeah.
He's like, he has every right to be fucking pissed off. Like, you can't be fucking putting out puppet shows about killing dragons.
I mean, unless you were gonna say, "Hey, this play is about Targaryen versus Targaryen, and we're picking the side that won,"
Yeah.
because we know. I mean, I understand but at the same time, it's like you don't have to go that far. You can be mad, but you don't have to break a girl's fingers.
This is a family of inbred psychopaths.
Yeah,
though.
I get that. Yeah.
But the guy was like, his reaction isn't that crazy. And I'm like, any Targaryen seeing that play,
Yes.
would have that reaction. Like, I know,
Especially in like the Aerion. I don't know how old he is, but he's probably like
he's like a Joffrey.
he's probably like
family.
17, 16, maybe 18.
Yeah.
So he's probably at an age where he's not really fully developed and just sees that and gets pissed off. Because almost all, like, some Targaryens are just crazy and have no idea what's going on. Like, it seems like the brother is with just getting drunk.
Yeah.
And then some are kind of, I mean, Joffrey's not a Targaryen, but some just have that,
Rage.
just rage and, like, egoist mindset where they're the best at everything and all that.
No one can say a word to put them down.
One thing I did have a little bit of an issue with here is Egg, sees all this, runs back to Duncan, and then gets Duncan involved. Duncan punches Aerion, and then Egg is like, "No, stop! Don't hurt him." I'm like, whatever. He could have just done that for Tencel. Like,
Yeah.
he could have just said, "Hey, don't hurt her. You'll have to answer to my father."
I don't
But
know if
instead, he waits for Duncan to get in trouble and then do it.
I don't know
what
if
the
he
point. What the
thought
heck was
that
the point of that?
Duncan could pull off saving her without getting in caught or getting in trouble, which odds of that happening are slim.
Yeah.
But I think, dude, he's like a 10-year-old. I think he panicked, got Duncan's
Yeah.
help, and then was like, oh shit, like my friend's about to get fucked up. Like,
Yeah, I
let me
guess.
actually finally reveal myself so he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, he might be right. That part was frustrating. It's like, dude, you let your friend. I mean, like he might put to like the stake, be like, you're gonna have to die.
Yeah.
You hit a
Probably
dragon.
would have saved her finger too if he would have done it off the rip.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt really bad.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it hurt.
But I did like the part where he's like, "You impudent rat," and then he's like, "What happened to your hair?" He's like, "I cut it off because I didn't want to look like you, brother."
Yeah. And he called the guards by name. He's like, let go of them.
Yeah, it was like white and something else. Which at first I was like white, and then I was reading the caption. I was like, "Oh, it's WYTE." I was like, "Okay, it's a person's name."
Yeah. So
overall good episode. Big cliffhanger with now. I mean, like I said, we kind of knew who Egg was, but now it's revealed to Duncan, and we're gonna see all the fallout of this fight.
Yeah. I would assume Egg can't go on being the Squire.
No, but I mean, maybe the outcome of this tournament ends up being with if Duncan does well, he could be a knight for a royal family member.
I think the odds
he could be like Egg's personal knight.
Right. The odds. I think coming out of this, Duncan needs to get to the level of serving Egg. Egg's not going to stay the Squire of a hedge knight.
Yeah. No.
On top of this, I'm curious what happens. Like, I don't think Dunk's going to be absolved of the punishment of
definitely
hitting Arian.
Unfortunately, watching the previews for the rest of the season, I know what happens, but I'm not gonna.
So there's gonna be some, maybe like a combat thing, like they fight each other. There's a duel. Something has to happen out of it.
You're kind of along the right lines there.
Okay, so it should be. I mean, maybe we get it next episode. Maybe next episode's a lot of the discussion of how they're gonna handle it.
Well, let's see. What we have 6 episodes this season.
We're at 3. I could see it being a lot of like judging.
I could see it being the 5th episode. I mean, if they go with the penultimate episodes, the second to last episode of the season for Game of Thrones kept always being it was always the biggest episode of the season. So if they kind of go with that idea and make that like you said, we might get an episode of build up before said duel or whatever it is, and then the actual climactic.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff they gotta cover, like Egg being missing all this time, going back to the dad. Like the conversations with Egg and the family are gonna take up a lot of the next episode, I think. Dunk, whether he's in like a cell or something right now, like
All right. You got anything else for the? I think it kind of ends our Game of Thrones talk.
No, that'll end the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Moving on to the next Oscar nominee movie that we are going to be covering, which is The Smashing Machine. We're doing a different type of breakdown. Last week, we both pitched an episode to each other, a little bit like more of a not spoiler, try to give you like a summary of the movie and then an overall rating at the end. This is going to be different. I'm going to be spoiling this movie because I don't recommend this movie to watch.
It's also a real life story, so it's not like...
Absolutely right, Ryan. It is a true story about the start of like Ultimate Fighting and the 2 guys that really paved the way for it. So... spoiler, if you really want to see this movie and you don't know what happens, you can stop now, but I'm telling you right now, it's not that worth watching to me. I think I end up giving it like a 6.5, 6.8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 flat.
7 flat. Now, slight biasness. We're not fans of The Rock. Ryan thinks this is The Rock's best performance.
But that doesn't really say much when, his second best performance is Jumanji.
Yeah. I had someone try to argue Central Intelligence, but I was like,
never seen it.
That also, it's a comedy duo of him and Kevin Hart, probably getting carried by Kevin Hart. Going on to The Smash Machine, it's about a world champion wrestler, Mark Kerr, who starts into the career of UFC, the Octagon, and then he starts going to, I think he's in Japan, fighting for a organization called Pride. Yep. Which is pretty much Ultimate Fighting. It brings all the different types of martial arts and everything into Ultimate Fighting for a champion, just like the MMA. UFC does. Yeah, MMA.
It's just so I just have some background in terms of what was actually going on in real life. So this is in the late '90s when the UFC got started, and kind of around this time, I think kind of mixed martial arts and UFC got banned in like 36 states. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of hard for UFC to keep going around here, and UFC at the time was just a tournament. It's not like it is now where there's weight divisions and you get one match or whatever. There was tournaments where they just kind of pitted. They'd be like, hey, let's have this karate guy go against a sumo wrestler and see who wins, and the weight classes would be all jumbled. It was weird. And then at this time, the Pride company in Japan they were paying more money, so a lot of the bigger fighters were going out to Japan and fighting for them rather than fighting in the UFC.
Like you said, this took place 1997 to 2000, the years that the movie was showing. So he starts off, like I said, wrestling. He becomes a great wrestler. He's undefeated.
He was in Brazil in that first one, in this starting scene.
Yes, he was. He started off in Brazil. after I think he was in he did a UFC fight in Octagon.
She had 2 UFC fights. I don't know. I can't remember if they showed them both, but I went through and looked at his results for his career.
Okay,
I
well, I was
guess,
like, we're going on with the movie.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
So he had a UFC fight in the Octagon. He won. After which he asked for painkillers, and you can tell he's doing this because they asked him if he wanted to pay for it with insurance. He said, "I kind of want to keep it off insurance. Let me pay for this with cash."
Which at first I mean
I didn't know if it was PEDs or painkillers.
That's I kind of like I have heard some things about Mark Kerr, but the fact it was in the 90s when we were born, but like we were like 3 years old, so we really didn't know much about it then.
No.
I wasn't sure if it was PEDs or if it was painkillers, and then once I saw like the opioids thing, I was like, this makes sense. This is like right at the start of the opioid crisis in America.
I assumed it was PEDs at first. At first I wrote PEDs, but then as the movie goes on, you can tell.
Because I think it's like the same vials that they come in.
Yeah.
At least I mean from what I see in movies
and he's
stuff
injecting
like that.
them
I've
to
never
himself,
actually seen.
which
Yeah.
you think is like steroids, but I had a question. He didn't have like when he got to the scene where he first went to Pride and he's talking to them, and he's like discussing the contract with them. I'm like, dude, how's this like you have a fighter who gets hit in the face all the time. He doesn't have a manager to handle contract negotiations.
So I think Mark Coleman mentioned that he was kind of his initial
served the manager for a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm assuming maybe with the fact that maybe he wasn't making that much at this time, if he just kind of said, I'm going to go with no manager because I don't want to lose 10% of my little contract to a manager.
He was making enough to pay for painkillers in cash. He was like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I had a big question there because like he's talking to like 3 Japanese guys talking about a contract, and he's like barely trying to translate. I'm like, this is a terrible way to handle this.
I thought that was weird too. And then they're like, he's like, I don't have like a contract for my next fight. Like I'm gonna need one before.
Yeah, I want agreement before I fight.
I was waiting for him to be like, I can't fly home unless I get more money.
Yeah. So before we go into the first Pride fight, he does. They did a whole rule thing. I think it was for the championship of the Pride, right? Wait, they covered all the rules, like rule changes and like what would be illegal. And one of the rules they showed was if a guy's on his like hands and knees and his head is down, you can't knee him in the top of the head.
Or kick him in the top of the head.
Or kick him in the top of the head when his face is not showing.
And the Russian guy made a point. Well, his translator made a point of asking about a specific thing, being like, "Oh, if your face is up, can you kick?" And they're like, "Yeah, if the face is up, you're fine, but if it's down, you can't."
So he clearly knew the rule.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And
I think that's just was more emphasis to be like, "Hey, he knew what he was doing."
Yeah. Then Mark Kerr then went on to lose the fight by getting knocked out to 4 straight knees to the top of his head when his face was down. So,
but even before the fight, that was when Dawn, his girlfriend in the movie, is just like shows up almost out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, I'm here for your fight,"
Yeah.
and he's just like just obviously. I mean, that to me it's kind of weird. Like you're showing up to like out of nowhere to see your boyfriend or whatever is going to fight in like an hour or 30 minutes. No, maybe just leave him alone.
No, he asked her to come.
Well, asked her to come to Japan, not come inside the room.
Yeah.
I think, bothering someone right before a fight when they're probably in a mindset of total focus and then getting in a fight with them is maybe not the best idea.
My only problem with that is I assume the transparency wasn't really there. She's like, she flew all the way to Japan. She was allowed to get all the way back there. And then when she walked into the room, no one wanted I kind of agree with her. She walked in and it looked like they were talking shit on her. I mean, and she everyone went silent. Coleman left the room and he didn't even want to talk to her. And she's like, I just fucking flew 20 hours to be here and I get treated like shit. What the fuck is this?
I mean, maybe it could have been like, hey, come to Japan, but don't talk to me before the fight. I'll talk to you afterwards. I just want to. But even so, later in the movie, he tried to be like, hey, just give me 2 days, and she's like, no, you can always do this.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe he didn't go about it in the best way of presenting these thoughts to her, but at the same time, it's like, how are you going to bother a man to get in a fight with him before a big fight for him?
Right. It was there was definitely a more mature way to handle all of it. Like you said, that happened right before the fight. She says a comment too, what, you want me to hit you in the face? Is that gonna that'll make you talk to me? Do I need to punch you in the face? And then it got close to it being an actual problem.
She accused him of being high too.
Oh well. That was the first time she what's up with you? Your eyes are just you look like you're high, and he's ignoring her and doing all this stuff. But he is at this point high as shit on painkillers.
Yeah, and it was kind of similar to what Baz looks like later in the movie when he gives Baz painkillers to help his tendonitis.
Yeah. So like you said, he goes on to lose the fight to 4 straight knees in the head, illegal hits. He is talking to anybody he can, hey, that was illegal. You gotta look over that. Look, that was clearly against the rules. So like I said, it later gets called a no contest, which he's talking to Dawn about, and she's like, "That's good. This is good, right?" And he's like, "No, like I didn't win." And like, how much satisfaction were you gonna get? Like, it's not like you're getting told you won in a room. Like, you're still not gonna get that big satisfaction. At least I would be happy that I don't have a loss on my record anymore.
And I think because like before that fight, he had the interview where he's like, the one reporter was like, "Oh, like what are you gonna do if you lose?" He's like, "I've never lost. Like I couldn't tell you."
Like, I can't even comprehend. Like, I can't even think. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what I would do if I lost.
And granted, I didn't watch. I watched a couple like real life interviews of what Mark Kerr like is, interviews from back then. And one of them was after a loss, and he seemed fine. He's like he's like, yeah, I just got unlucky. I went for a takedown, and like he gripped me tight, and I hit my head and knocked myself out for a second. It was just a fluke thing. Like, didn't seem upset at all.
Well,
so like kind of like seeing like what he acted in real life, and then what The Rock did. Which I mean, obviously the movie's gonna make it more make it more dramatic and all that stuff. But it's like, did you really like?
But I think at that time he hadn't lost yet, so I can see him having that mindset. Whereas when he was like, that interview could have been when he was already in rehab, where he had a much more clean head.
So I was also one of my thoughts, but still, I mean, I don't.
So after it's called a no contest, he starts really diving into the painkillers. Like, he's high as shit walking around the house. The Dawn's being like, I don't even know who you like. I think the one scene he got out of bed and was just like on the couch, just like
barely eating.
Yeah.
Which I mean, for a man his size, you got to eat a lot.
Yeah. But like, he's like missing his mouth. It was like, you could tell he's high as shit. Dawn comes out like, I can't keep finding you like this. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you're not even hiding it from me anymore. I got the syringe and the tube or the bottle in the bathroom just out. He's like, you're not even trying to hide it anymore. So like,
and he's getting all upset. He's like, why are you going through my stuff? It's like she probably didn't have to. It was probably right there, dude.
She just said it was left out in public. Like, it was pretty clear and easy to find. And he's like, he goes like, stop treating me like a kid. Like, I'm not a kid. And she's like, stop acting like a fucking kid. I don't want to have to like take care of you like this.
You're my big strong man.
And then he starts crying. He's like, I just want you to treat me like a man. And she hugs his head and calls him a big strong man. But I think the next scene we get is literally Dawn calling Mark Coleman because she found him unconscious on the floor.
Well, was that the scene before? Was that when he broke the door? Because I have a complaint about the door beat.
The door got punched, and then the door was the fight of him treating her like
a kid. So I have one problem. You can clearly see the cardboard in the door. It's like, okay, come on, props department. We couldn't have made this door look a little bit more real.
I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, I don't know.
Like, they blatantly see the cardboard.
Yeah, he elbowed half of a door off.
Yeah,
and it was clearly flopping and
you
clearly
could
cardboard.
just
You could see the actual cardboard inside the door. I agree. I don't like. I've put up a lot of doors in my life. Always been wood. I don't know if like back in the day, like the interior, like save money on interior doors, like they might have had cardboard doors back then, but no, I made note of it too. I'm like, I don't want to like be stupid and be like, oh, like they used to have doors like that in the 90s, but
I mean, my house was built in the 90s. It's
you don't have any cardboard doors?
No, they're all wood.
Okay, then maybe not. Yeah, it was clearly you could see the cardboard inside the door, but that led to her hugging his head, and then the next scene we get is Dawn calling his buddy Mark Coleman, who's another fighter, saying that he's OD'd, he's like unconscious, I need your help, and he's like, I'll fly right over there. And like before that, we get a scene of Mark Coleman with his family, like just being like actually a present in the family and not obviously abusing drugs.
In this moment, I was like, damn, like, maybe if I mean, they're both Marks, so it's kind of hard, but if Kerr had like a kid, maybe he wouldn't have done that. Maybe he would have been more of a grounded man.
Yeah.
And then we later find out why he doesn't have a child.
He doesn't want a kid yet. Yeah. But so he ODs, he's in the hospital. Coleman flies out to see him, and he goes to the waiting room. Dawn talks to him. He goes in and starts talking to Kerr, and this is the scene that I think dropped the movie a few points for me. And like, this is why, like, again, this movie isn't terrible, and this is the problem I had at the end. The movie's not terrible. The Rock looks so much like Mark Kerr. He had to be the one to play him. And that makes sense to me as well. This movie, I can't even say it doesn't have to be made because it's the start of Ultimate Fighting. It's a good story.
Yeah,
I like the story being. I like the movie being made. Stop making it like this has no
Yeah.
business being in discussion of being an Oscar nominee.
It made me feel a lot. I mean, obviously, I've the Ultimate Fighters sacrifice a lot, but like what the ones in the beginning sacrifice, because they don't. I mean, even now they might be underpaid in terms of like what they get paid per fight, but back then they were really underpaid.
The
And
grand prize was $200,000.
There was like the medical insurance. I'm sure like all that stuff was not to the level it is now in terms
Yeah.
of making sure these fighters are in a safe spot before and after fights and like healthy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you really feel bad for the guys that kind of pioneered and were the first ones aboard.
So I expected to go into this movie being like, stop giving The Rock main roles. This movie doesn't but he had to play the role, look just like him. I don't think he did bad portraying him, but this movie has no business being an Oscar nominee whatsoever. And I said to Rye, unless you're talking about maybe Emily Blunt's role, because there were times where I was like siding with her, times where I was like, that was my like most jaw dropping moment, where we'll get to later with the gun.
Side with her in the beginning, and then it slowly started to be like, actually, no,
definitely
you're
has
the
some problems.
worst.
Yeah, she has some problems. But back to it. This is the scene, like I said, that really hurt for my, at the time, being like, Rock's not doing too bad. The Coleman shows up to the hospital bed. Kerr wakes up and he's talking to him, and Coleman's like, "Dude, what happened? Like, tell me what happened. What happened?" And Kerr's going through like, "I don't know. I'm sick, man." He's like, "I'm sick. I woke up, or like, next thing I know, I'm laying down and like." Dawn can't wake me up. I get picked up in the ambulance. They can't wake me up. He's like, I'm sick.
The explaining of everything that happened when you were unconscious, instead of like, because clearly he wasn't asking about that.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was asking about
Yeah.
what led you to be unconscious,
What happened?
not what you were doing while unconscious.
He's not asking about the ride you took to the hospital,
yeah,
like,
which already was told to him.
yeah. So again, Coleman knows it was about drugs. So after hearing his story of being unconscious, Coleman goes, "Dude, like, pretty much cut the bullshit. Like, I know. Tell me what happened." And a scene that could have been like, and should have been the most like dramatic acting scene of the movie, where you're caught, you're trying to lie to your buddy about being a drug addict. He's calling you out on it, and this is the scene to like show emotion, show raw emotion, and explain yourself. And I'm going to show you exactly what The Rock did in this scene. I don't care if they did this in real life. This is not how you act at a big turning point scene in the movie.
Well, even though he did it in real life, he could have done it in a better job.
Yeah.
That didn't just cover his face the whole time. And
Coleman said, "Cut the bullshit. Tell me the truth." And then this is what The Rock, Mark Kerr, does. Like, literally, the whole rest of the scene, you can't see his face because he's crying into a blanket. As Coleman's like, "I'm your buddy, man. I flew all the way out here. I didn't fly here. Do you think I love Phoenix? I'm here for you."
I love you, dude.
Still crying in a blanket.
Yeah,
that's not acting at all.
They hug while he's still in the blanket and everything like that. Like,
You
he
don't
just
see
never
his
leaves
face
the blanket.
for the rest of the scene. That is the turning point of that is the most dramatic part of the movie. Him admitting to his friend that he's a drug addict and admitting that he needs to go to rehab. And the whole scene, his face is in a blanket crying.
The next time you see his face, he's walking into rehab.
It's ridiculous. It was so bad that I was like, dude, how the hell are you gonna just completely like did they try other scenes and like, yo, this guy can't act for shit. Like we gotta hide his face in a blanket and like it's the only way we're gonna salvage. Like, what did Mark Kerr do? Oh, he hid himself in a blanket. That's our saving grace to not have to do this scene dramatically. Like, it was so pathetic. It pissed me off so much. Like, that was like one of the few times I paused the movie and was like, this can't be fucking real. Like,
some of it was just like, The Rock always seemed very monotone and not really, motion one way or the other in a lot of these scenes. I mean, sometimes he got a little aggressive with Dawn in terms of like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But he didn't really, like, I feel like some of the, I mean, I don't know how much of that was actually what Mark Kerr was like and just very monotone, but it seemed like he just wasn't showing emotion one way or the other. So that was one of the knocks I had against his acting.
That my note for that scene was Buddy flies out to see him and he cries into a blanket. I could have acted that.
Yeah, I mean, it could have had a stunt double, just have The Rock just do something else.
So, like you said, next time we see his face, he's walking into rehab. He gets clean. We see Dawn out drinking with her buddy for her like her birthday, and I think it kind of hints at like Dawn's starting to go out and drink more, and she's like,
so I found out apparently in real life she said like, hey, I won't, like, after rehab, I won't drink in front of you ever again, and then quickly that becomes a lie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of seen in the movie.
Yeah. So he comes out of rehab. He's clean, and again, it's not saying that it's their. It is. I mean, it's their fault for abusing drugs to the point of needing to go to rehab. But when somebody comes out of rehab, they can't be around like anything really of drinking or any of that stuff. So it becomes harder to be around this person.
The way what she does, I mean, he's coming off of painkillers, you know, like opioids and painkillers is his addiction. And what does she go? And she goes grabs 4 Advil, which I've take one for like.
No, Advils. I've popped more. Like 4 Advils is not crazy
at one time.
Yeah, it's not
there's
crazy.
no way it's ever needed for 4. I mean, the daily dosage for a day is usually 4.
Yeah, I know I've taken Advil to that extent,
but still, like, I mean, she's like hungover. She's like, oh yeah, I'm taking this because I think I'm gonna get a headache. So you're basically like, I understand you can take it, but then maybe just like grab it and take it in the bathroom. Don't be right in right in front of him. Like, she has to reach around him to get to it.
Yeah, like
you're just putting it in his face, which I don't think is like. And she's like, oh, like I'm not the one with the problem. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't mean you need to treat your boyfriend like this and make him see what he just got out of rehab for a month.
So yeah, as I said, there's 2 sides. Like, obviously, it is, if she wants to be a part of this relationship, it now is up to her to take his recovery into mind and not be doing that kind of stuff around him. Is it easy to, like, she's hungover and just didn't even think about it? Yeah, like, that can happen, but you probably should hand up, be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have grabbed that in front of you. Like, I'm sorry I did that. But it becomes a big fight. She then is like realizing that like he's like a robot now, like he's no fun, which again is when you date somebody when they're doing drugs and you have a good time with them, then you have a problem with him doing like getting high all the time. He goes to rehab and you're all happy. Like, he's not going to be the same person he was before because clearly he can't be that same person.
Yeah, especially right away. I mean, some people after rehab are able to go and like, you know, if they went to rehab for, you know, like, you know, other, you know, hard, like, you know, opioid stuff like that. Sometimes they're able to get back where they're able to drink alcohol and be doing stuff like that. But right away, you got it.
Not for a long time.
Yeah. You can't just go right in their face right in the beginning.
Yeah. So,
and also, like, it just seems like, you know, the one time she's, oh, that might be later, so I'll let you go.
So, I have down here, relationship starts to fall apart because he's clean, so he's being a little more judgmental towards her and is no fun. I'm still slightly on her side here, but I'm starting to lean a little bit. Coleman is winning fights and proving that he is not completely out of his career. Like, his age is not a factor. Like, he is back. Kerr starts training again with who? You had his name.
Boz,
yeah.
Who he plays himself. That is the real life Boz.
Yeah. I recognize the guy as an actual, like, trainer / was he a fighter at one point?
Fighter, commentator,
yep.
He stopped fighting because of the tendonitis.
Did they? Oh wait. So when they were fighting, Mark calls his what's it called, a sponsor?
Yeah,
his
sponsor Jeff.
And Don starts like, seriously, what are you gonna snitch on me now? You're gonna snitch on me? He's like, I'm not gonna snitch on you. Like, I just need to talk to him. And then he's like, every time she walks away, she's like, do you hear what I'm dealing with right now?
Yeah,
like,
that part is probably not the best by Mark.
Like, dude, like,
do you hear this?
You want to trigger a girl? Like, be like,
yeah.
Do you hear what I deal with inside? Like, that's definitely pissing her off. But
also, like, I think the point of speaking to your sponsor is you speak to him when you get an urge.
Yeah. Not every time you have a relationship fight.
Yeah, which, like, I think maybe he saw all that and he got an urge to want to go do it to calm down.
Yeah.
So it's like, just let him talk to a sponsor for 10 minutes. I'm sure if after the call, you know, he's fine and you're fine, everything's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Amping him up more is not gonna help.
So I forgot to say this. So at one point, Mark bought a bowl that I wish
it was
I
his first trip in Japan.
It was his first trip in Japan. Bought a bowl for Dawn. I forget the term they use.
Kitsugi.
Look at you. Kitsugi is when they have like take a broken bowl, vase, whatever, and they put it together with gold, and it kind of shows that your cracks kind of like don't define you, and they can be beautiful and all this stuff.
I remember it because it's one of my favorite for like fine china. It's like when I get a set of china, I want all of mine to be like that because I think it's one of the coolest things to look at.
It is really, really cool. I do like the idea when it's done with like gold and you see like the shot. It is very,
classic,
very nice.
I forget the kind of pattern, but like you know, the Chinese pottery that's like white ceramic with like blue drawings, and then it has that gold and weaved in between. I think it's like the coolest looking stuff.
Yeah. So he got that for her during this fight where he's calling a sponsor on her to like,
Chef,
Chef,
she's getting mad at me.
She then takes the bowl. She takes all of her stuff goes to leave, takes the bowl and slams it, and it kind of is like a breakup scene pretty much. But then and another problem I had with this movie coming up. Mark starts training, and the song they chose for his like training montage. You have to remember it.
No, not a chance.
I love the song. Didn't juice me up one bit whatsoever, and I think it was a weird song to choose. Frank Sinatra's "I Did It My Way,"
Oh yeah,
and I'm watching. I'm like, I love this song.
yeah. Not
This
a really,
is not a
yeah,
pump
now
up song for this scene whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
I get the whole like he's doing it clean. I do it, but there's millions of better songs to put. Like, this is a fighter getting back into his career, and you're doing it seems slowed down version of Frank Sinatra's "My
I
Way."
hope the reason why they chose it is because he actually used it in terms of his build up. Like he's like personally, it was just a good song for him.
Yeah.
That's my only thought. Because
It
you're right.
was
That yeah, even like now I remember listening to it. Like I was like, yeah, this is a little bit weird choice.
It was. I was like, dude, why the hell? And I said, fucking Frank Sinatra's "My Way." Wait, where's it?
So it's also like you're doing it your way because you're not doing drugs anymore. But I don't like that doesn't mean it's
No.
your special way.
No, it was rough. Love that song, but a bad choice is what I wrote. So then Don, he's training with him. He gets back into the Pride tournament, right? Mm-hmm. I think Don comes back while he's training. Don comes back while he's training at one of his training sessions, and she presents to him the bowl that she is now super glued together.
Crazy glue.
Crazy glued together because she looked up the meaning of the gold putting it together pieces. So he forgives her, says he loves her. It's the most meaningful thing anyone's ever done for him. And they get back together, and then he tells Boz that he wants to go back to Phoenix with her for a little. He's like, I don't think that's a great idea.
And Boz is getting a little annoyed. He's like, you're cutting it. Like you hear that bell? It just rang. It's time to go back. And get her out of here.
So at the end of their training, he's like, I'm going to go back to Phoenix for a little bit. I'll train there. And he's like, you really think that's a good idea? And he's like, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Well, gets back. I guess he's drinking non-alcoholic beer.
That was my guess too. I thought.
I assume.
I think that has to be the assumption.
Yeah. So he goes back, and they're hosting a party where she's got margarita glasses all over the place. She's putting out charcuterie boards, and it's like, dude, like, this is very close to the fight.
So I assumed that was after the party.
No, because remember when they broke up, she was like, with all these people are coming over.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah.
So it was before. And it's like, dude, like, he doesn't need to be doing this. Like, this is the distractions that exactly he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it turns into this big fight where they're screaming at each other. She's like, you can't, like, you're no fun anymore. Like, you're like, and like, she's freaking out about how he is and how he's judgmental now. But it's like,
Then she kept being like, "Oh, Coleman and Boz called. Like, what are they calling about?"
Oh, you're right. So
he's like, "I don't know. It's 2 weeks after I fight. They probably want to know how I feel."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, but why they call? Why they call?" It's like, what are you being so aggressive about? And then we find out what she hears on the voicemail.
Yeah, she heard the voicemail that they don't want her to fly to Japan this time. So it's
Also,
huge fight.
wouldn't blame him because she was there for his last no contest. That was basically a loss.
They got into a massive fight before the fight. So she's pissed off, wants an answer from him, like, do you want me there or not? Like, tell me the truth. Do you want me there? And he's like, I need 2 days to think
Which
about
I don't
it.
think is a bad, let him focus on the fight.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big fight. It's his first one back since, going to rehab.
So they get in this huge fight.
Was that the one was that after he fought Inoue?
What?
Was that like the 2 days in Japan? Was that what his first fight back, or was that his second fight back? Was that, I think it was a championship, or was it not?
No, this is before.
Oh, it was a big. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
So, because he wouldn't have flown out to Japan and came back.
Yeah,
I
well,
think.
it was. I don't think they were all that close together. I can't remember.
No. So she said something on the lines of like something that like really crossed the line. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was. It was like, you're big, like, who the hell cares? Like, some big fighter or something like that. Like, who cares about your fight? She said something that really pissed him off. And he breaks up with her. So she, like, storms out and, like, runs. He's like, go pack a bag and get out of my house. And then he sees it. She goes out and she grabs a gun and tries to shoot herself with it.
You could hear the security, I can't think of it.
Like the safety box.
Safety, yeah.
Yeah. So she tries to kill herself. He tackles her. She gets out, runs to the bathroom, and starts going through like the drug drawer. And he breaks through the door. Do you see cardboard?
Yeah, that one seemed fine. That one I thought was fine.
Breaks through the drawer, stops her again.
Because that one he clearly just broke a panel.
Yeah.
A wood panel.
Yeah.
Or pane, whatever you want.
Cops end up coming. They take her away because she's trying to kill herself. And then he goes out to Japan, obviously without her. So goes into get into the fights. He stops her, cops take her away. Mid-fight mark. Oh, so he wins the first round. Coleman's there. He wins the first round, and then they start projecting like if they both make it, like maybe they'll have to fight each other in the championship. And then the quarterfinals start. Mark Kerr goes into his fight, and it seems pretty even. He goes down at one point in the same position, and the guy's not kneeing him in the head.
He was like nailing him at first.
Yeah,
really laying.
The guy was getting a couple punches, but like he was tackling him, and like he was looked like he was winning the fight. And then he gets in that position, and pretty much the drama of the last 2 months start flashing through his head, and he can't move. He's frozen. He loses the fight.
And that's kind of where you like, Boz and all them were probably right. If he just didn't have that distraction of Dawn for like the half thing,
if he didn't go to Phoenix,
wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't have happened. Yeah, he literally went to Phoenix, and like pretty much that whole bit of like her putting the gun to her head, chasing her, all of that's like flashing through his head, and he can't move. So yeah, it was the distraction to Phoenix. Coleman goes on to win the whole thing. Exciting. It
was $200,000.
Wins $200,000. I think he beat the guy that
beat Igor. Yeah,
that no contest with. Movie ends with a video of the real Mark Kerr in 2025 in a grocery store, and like he's like walking around, and then we get like a bunch of information about what happened afterwards. Him and Dawn end up getting married.
So get married right after that championship ended in Vegas, and then they had a kid, and they got divorced within 7 years.
Yeah. I was waiting to see what, like, they said they were married for like 9 years or something like that.
7, I think it's 7.
7? Okay.
That's
So I was curious at what. I don't think they said they got divorced on there. Like
it just said married for 7 years, so I must say I don't know what that.
That could have been like. Okay, I in my mind, I don't think they got married right after. I thought they took a while for them to rekindle.
No, apparently they got married right after in Vegas.
Right.
He said
You're right, and then it's 7 years.
I also did because I looked it up. They got married in 2000, so it had to have been within that year of probably.
So then
2000.
7 years wouldn't have been. They would have had to or something would have had to happen.
Maybe it was 9 years. Cause I feel like I remember them saying something about 2009.
Yeah,
I can't remember what that was though.
So they stayed together. I think he fought till 2009.
Oh yeah, he retired in 2009. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Which I saw. So he was 12-0 up until that Igor fight where it was no contest.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up being 12-0-0. He finished his career at 15-12-1.
Ooh, so a rough end of the career.
Yeah, it's. I was looking at it and I was like, this is a lot of losses. I don't remember this.
Yeah, no one add any of that to the movie.
Yeah.
But so that wraps up the whole movie. Like I said, I gave it a 6-8 out of 10.
I'll go 7 out of 10.
And like I said, I will admit, even though I hate The Rock, he had to be the person to play this role. I'm not mad that this movie was made because I think it's a good story about if you're into the UFC, it's a good story that you should. And I ended up, after watching the movie, I was informed about two guys that start, like, were the some of the focal points of the beginning of UFC. And I'm glad I learned about these two guys, Mark Coleman and Mark Kerr. Should not be discussed with Oscars whatsoever. Not even in the slightest bit.
I mean, Emily Blunt had a great performance as Dawn, but I don't think
enough to put her up there either.
The movie itself wasn't Oscar worthy, but it's better not have The Rock up there for. I don't know if he's is The Rock.
It's not gonna be the musical score. I don't think it's gonna be Emily. If it's not Emily Blunt, it's for him, and it's gonna piss me off. It shouldn't be up for nominee whatsoever.
No
the movie it's not painful to watch. It is an enjoyable movie to watch. Nowhere near should be up there.
No.
So that's my final verdict. I think we're on the same page. I think we're pretty nice considering how we feel about The Rock. I agree with you. I think it is one of his better roles, especially as a lead.
But the bar is low, so it's not like I'm saying he's
it's one of his better roles. A lot of his other movies are under. All of his movies are under 6.8. That he's the main person of it. So yeah, that is our sprinkle of pop culture. We'll look into what Oscar movie we can go into next.
I just one last thing. It's kind of funny that mostly all of The Rock's roles are literally a smashing machine, and then the movie with the smashing machine was his only one that he delved a little bit outside of just only smashing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, at least he had some sort of emotion, and there's some actual story there beyond just hitting a brick wall.
Right.
As Hobbs and
or
Fast
just
and
being
Furious.
the big guy.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching. That is our sprinkle of pop culture. We'll be back next week with, obviously, Knights of the Seven Kingdom Episode 4. And we will discuss another movie to watch if we can find another Oscar nominee movie. I'm sure there's other ones we can watch. If not, we could always just watch the other movie that me and you pitched to each other.
Yeah, I might try and find out how to watch Marty Supreme super legally.
Yeah,
Definitely not illegally.
definitely not illegal. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.